waiting for one member of my team. I think I've seen him. He has joined. So, good evening, and I hope everyone is good. I'm Augustine Waswa, and we are going to present Excel or spreadsheets extensively. So in my team, we are working with a team of 3. We have Ibrahim and Jebet, that's Mildred. So welcome, and I believe that we will impact most of you with whatever we've planned for. And in case there is any question or maybe any kind of concern, you can just bring it forward so that at least we try and look at it. Also, it's a free session whereby maybe you can add your input in case maybe there's something more you can bring. So as we were preparing for this session, we took into consideration that there are those people who are maybe new to Excel, or maybe they are beginners, and maybe there are those who are experienced. So we would like to urge that for those who are experienced, I think you can give those who are new at least time to absorb, maybe if they are asking questions. And then if you have any question, you can use the chat also to communicate. So I believe we had said that we'll be having, in case this session will not be enough, we'll be having 2 sessions, this one and then another one that will we will have maybe according to the plan that will be there. So personally, I'll be taking you through the introduction part and an overview of the spreadsheets, which we want to concentrate more on Excel and partially on Google Sheets. And then Ibrahim will take us through on a data that we worked on. We are using a very total new data, so it's about pharmaceuticals and so we tried to come up with something that we can use, something new. At least we don't use exactly what we've been using on the project. So feel free, and you are welcome to the session. So I'll just present my screen. I'm certain that my screen is visible to everyone. Can just confirm.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. So here we have 2 types of spreadsheets. So, and it depends with the need that you need to maybe use the spreadsheet. The most commonly used spreadsheet is Excel, widely used, mostly by many organizations. You find that Excel by itself is like a database whereby it can store data. It can be used maybe to manipulate data, and it can be used for some advanced options. So, and we have also the Google Drive, not Google Sheet. You'll find that Google Sheet is almost exactly as Excel, but it has a very different interface, as you can see. So the only advantage between Google Sheets and Google Drive is that, and Excel is that Google Sheet is used majorly maybe when you want to work on different environments. As long as you have an email, you are good to go. And Excel, mostly you find that it's something you will use on your PC, but now we have 360. 360 is also like, I think they're competing with Google Sheets or Google in ensuring that someone can get their data whenever they need. So we are going to start with Excel. So in Excel, you find that Excel, most of us, maybe we know Excel as a spreadsheet whereby maybe you can just run data and then maybe run like some formulas and so. But most of the time you find that maybe you are working with a database and then you are getting that you have a lot of data with you. Like an example of the data that we have, I'll just open it up so that you have a look at it. It's a data set that has almost 40,000 rows. Those are only rows, almost 38,100 rows. So you find that something like this, you need maybe to like analyze. And in terms of columns, it has a very like extensive columns that goes up to the other end, up to almost Z, I think. That is the end of the columns. So something like this, you find that it becomes very hard to just use a naked eye to look into it. And with this data, we tried to make sure that it has some of the maybe commonly used maybe errors. Something that we just noticed when we were working on, we were looking at it was on the dates part, which we'll be extensively looking into it as we go. And then also maybe, several other parts. So something like this, you'll find that when you are working on it, you need like to understand how to like use different features. So, and that is why in Excel, there are these tabs up here that are majorly used. So Excel mostly corresponds majorly with Power BI, the tool that we just learned recently. And as you look at the advancements that have been done in Excel, currently we are on 360. We were maybe, so most of us, we find that maybe we have 2021, we have 2018, 2016, and then we have Excel 2010. So it's always advisable to get the most recent type of Excel. I think mine is 2021. If I just look at it, 2021. So, and when you look at its interface, it's more quick and easy to use. So, one thing we need to always understand about Excel is try to make sure that you format your spreadsheet very well. Even before you start using the formulas, you need to make sure that at least you are able to manipulate your data inside the spreadsheet. Make sure that your settings are well set. On the setting parts, Ibrahim will take us through maybe how to do some settings and so on when he starts running the data and also explaining the data and trying to clean it up. So always make sure that you have a correct font that you are using. Let me just copy a small number of data from this point so that we can use it. Like that one, this is just an example of a data set. I've just extracted it, copied and pasted from the data set that we'll be working with. So always make sure that you have the correct font. Font is always important, mostly when you are trying to create your report. Like this one here, you can decide to maybe name. Let's say you are working on that big data and you are moving from like different rows. The first instinct that personally I will do is to name this first column. This first row, first column here by anything. Let's say I'll maybe use the word ALX and make sure that it's named that column like that, so that anytime I click on this part, I'm able to see it. Even if I move like to 1,000 rows or columns and I want to get back to my first row, like my first page, I'll just click on that and it will take me directly to the first page. So that one, it will have saved a lot of my time and a lot of my energy. So another thing is we were talking about the fonts and so on. You can choose the font that you need. Most of the time, for academic or any other thing, we like using New Times Romans. Also, for to make sure that we are using consistent fonts, we need to like select the entire data, and then maybe let's see, it's times this one, times new romance, and then maybe you decide to select maybe whichever, maybe like you align it with the correct number, and then maybe you can decide to make it bold or whichever, which I know most of us know how to do that. So maybe we can decide to create borders. Most of the time we are not always advised to create borders when you are creating maybe a final report. It depends with the field that you are working with. Maybe in other fields you are not required maybe to create those a lot of borders, because you'll find that maybe it will create a lot of noise in your, or even try to drag the attention of the user when you are trying to create it. So sometimes we have these color fonts. Color fonts, I think we've seen how to, maybe you know how to customize. You just click on it and then come and customize it. And then sometimes it reaches a point whereby you need to color the entire row so that maybe you can draw the attention of the user into a specific, let's say you want them to just concentrate on the column alone. You remove the white space on the spreadsheet, and then maybe you just color that sheet that you want them to concentrate on to that, maybe to white, because white is something that will draw their attention. When they try to go below, it will be something dark, so they just concentrate on a specific data set that you provided them with. Also, we can try to, sometimes it reaches a point whereby you are using maybe formulas, so that to differentiate the formula, and maybe let's say I'm using a formula here. Let me use AutoSum. Hope it works. So I can decide to use AutoSum. Okay. We are always advised to always use shortcuts when we are working on our data, that is AutoSum. Maybe you can decide to mark don't mark it with the bold color, the entire cell. Don't mark it with the color like that. You can mark it with, you can mark the figures with a specific color. So there's always a way to create a formula that you can use like that, so that in case even anyone comes here, they are able to notice that why this one is maybe marked. And when you are doing your audits on the data, it's easy to identify the hard data and a formula in your data set. So you can use that one. And then there's always this alignment. Maybe you want to align your data. You can decide to align it like that, or maybe centralize them, or even place them to be on the other end. So this one, you can use it most of the time to increase the decimal, in case you want to increase them or reduce. You can decide to copy the entire column for uniformity. Like this one, you find it's 2 decimals. This one is, I don't know how many decimal places. You can decide to create more decimals. This is for decimal, no. For decimal, here it is. Sometimes they can confuse you. Sometimes they are usually like that one. You can use it to increase the decimal. So for alignment, you can use the number formatting to make your formats and so on. So I'll try to be quick because of time. And then conditional formatting, maybe you want to highlight something on the data, or you want to maybe, in case maybe something is above 10%, 10 maybe percent, or below 10%, you can decide to highlight it. This one will be taken through by Ibrahim extensively. We have the table formatting the table, and then cell styles. So AutoSum, I think it's something that I've already done. So you can decide to do sorting. You can decide to copy the entire cell and then maybe create a filter. using the filter, you can decide maybe to sort them from the smallest to the biggest, or from the biggest to the smallest, like that. When you are trying to maybe analyze your data, that is only on home, and it has a lot. When you click on this, it opens more format cell, or a way to format your cell more. And then there is always another thing. I think you can wrap your text like that, so that maybe when you are writing, so that it does not like overflow across your cell, to ensure that maybe there is a certain form of alignment. So in case maybe you reduce your cell, the cell will just adjust itself. Like this one here, you can see they are hiding. So in case, instead of just making them hide, you can wrap them like that, so that you can be able to read your cell properly. So maybe when you are trying to align, and then when you want to unwrap, you just click again on the wrap cell. I think we all know about cell margin. In margin, we are always advised that try to minimize using it. Don't use it as often, because it will affect you when you are trying to work on your data. So try to minimize using the cell. Using the margin. So from that, we are moving to insert. So in insert, there are two things. Excel usually work as it's like it has almost everything that are there. So through Excel, you are able to break down to you can relate between Excel and Power BI in a lot of things, or Power Pivot. Power Pivot it's like a topic by itself, and then we also have Power Query, which is always inside data. When you get to data, you'll be able to see that. So instead of going a long way of, like, maybe you have a data set that you want maybe to work on it, and it's not that huge, and it does not like get interfered, you can just use pivot table directly instead of going to Power Pivot. But when you are working on a data that will need to be added, and maybe you need to always refresh it, or you want to work on automation, you are always advised to use Power Pivot rather than pivot table. So pivot table will only limit you to like using that specific data that you are working on. So we have the tables. When we are talking about tables, this table and these format table are usually the same. Let me just open another. Maybe you want to create table format, you can just decide to like create it like that, or when you are here, you can just create it also like that. It's one and the same thing, and then you design it the way you want on that side. So on the insert again, we have shapes. I remember we were working on how to format our work in. We were working on how to format our work in Power BI. You remember, we were creating shapes before we could add anything else. So like that one, you can just create a shape like that, and then insert your visual on top of this. This one will get into it after we've cleared our data, and then we'll create those shapes, so that at least when you are trying to bring maybe some information into your Excel sheet. And then there are different shapes that you can use. You can import pictures. You can bring icons, maybe if you want. There are a lot of things. Maybe when you want to beautify your data, or you want to beautify your visuals that you have created using Excel, you can use that. You can bring screenshots and so on. So here we have the map. Maybe you want to create visuals, you can use these ones here. You can go to recommended. Maybe when you are working with data, that is when it can give you. You can go to recommended, and then you bring the data type that you just want to bring. Let's say, let me just use like that one. You can bring it, and then you try to format it. So when it comes to formatting, that one we will work on it when we are working on our data. So it will just bring you something like this, and then you try to work on the formatting part. So that is all about these ones. It has maps. And then here we have some text that you can maybe use to create. These text files are usually important maybe when you are working on specific aggregation or an aggregated data that you want. We were calling them, I've forgotten the word that we were using. So you can just decide to bring that data here. Maybe you want to create a dynamic data that maybe someone wants to understand maybe the profitability. When you are working on reports that are used by maybe executives in companies or in an office, you'll find that they are not interested about all the other stories that happened maybe in the middle of the day. They'll just want to understand, like, let's say, how many, let's say, what is our profitability, what is our loss, how much like expenditure did we use, how much amount of money do we need to cut, which markets should we, like, they just need a single digit number. So after you've worked on everything, you can decide now to bring them on this one by just creating, by using that text. So sometimes it usually has a long process because you have to work on it on a different cell and then now bring it here as a single digit figure. So that is how you use the text. And then we have the page layout. Page layout, I think what I'll need to talk about here is this one. Ibrahim will take us through. So the most important thing in Excel, I know most of us usually work on Excel with these grids. These grids are never like advisable for you to like work on it. When you start working on advanced Excel or when you are working on reports, let's say you want to create a visual, you are supposed to remove this one from your worksheet so that you just remain with a plain like if it's this data, you don't need to work with it, the grids being there. Like this one, you need to remove them, the grids, and then now you work on the data the way it is like this, so that at least it becomes very easy for you even to format them. Because like this one, I'll prefer to just remove the white space by now going back to this and then turning it maybe to blue, depending on maybe most of the time we talk about corporate colors. You can decide to use the corporate color that you are using. And then from here, now you can decide to come and input your shapes like this. Once you input your shapes, you can because now the one on the back side, maybe it's a different color, you can decide to like even like you can decide now to create a white space here, so that now on the white space you can now decide to come and put your shapes, and then on the shapes, that is where you will be putting your visuals now, like, so that at least you create a white space behind for it to be attractive and to be able to like bring out maybe something like a story or something like that. So that is how we use our page layout. And then something else, there's this bring forward, bring back. Sometimes you can start by bringing up by maybe drawing a graph, and then you find that the graph is behind like this. So you can decide to just bring it forward or bring it, send it backward like that. You send it backward for this one to come forward, or you send this backward like that, and then, or also you can decide to group them. You just click Control and then group. Once you group, they just move together like that, so that at least you prevent any form of funny movement, or when you are moving this and then another one is not like moving, they are not moving together. So that is what I will talk about that. In the formula section, I would like to talk about the auditing part. I think we were talking about it. The formulas, we will be talking about the formulas extensively later. So on the auditing part, you'll find that sometimes you are working on a very huge data. Mostly this one usually affects people who are in finance. When you are creating your maybe models or you are creating your financial reports. So you find that you've created a report and then it has a lot of formulas. Like this one here. Let me just use an example here. Let me just use an auto sum like that. We'll just use a quick one. And then let's say we are doing that. And then let's say we are using this, divide by this, just as an example. And then we create another one here. For average. Average, like that. And then we create another one. Mean. Mean of this. Hope it works like that. So maybe I want to audit this work. So the first thing I'll go to formulas, and then if I want to check like which let's say which data is giving me this amount, I just go and click trace precedence. Trace precedence, it will highlight to you like from this from B2 to B12. That is what it's like giving me this one. And then I can go again to this one. I trace the precedence and it will give me like which data is being used at that point. Like that. Like this one, it's telling me this row and this. It's giving me this formula. And then this one, it's telling me it's this row alone. And then you can remove the arrows like that. Like let's say if there is a dependence, you just click trace dependence. There's no data that is dependent on this. But now when you come to this, you'll find that there's no again dependence. When you go to that, you click this trace dependence. It will show you that it's dependent on this data. Okay. Let's say when you go to this and click trace dependence, it's dependent on this and this entire row like that. So you can trace the dependence and that. So in case maybe you are working, you have been given a blank data like this. Sometimes you are given a blank data like the one that we have here. These are very big data set. And you want to check on maybe if there are any formulas in this data. So you come to formulas and then show formulas. When you click like that, you are able to see if there are any formulas. For this one, there are no formulas, so you'll not be able to see any of them. But here, there are formulas. So, am I really audible or I went out of the meet? Or am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Oh, sawa. Okay, so here, let's say I want to check on the formulas. I just click formulas. You are able to see all the formulas that are on the data set. Okay, so and then you can click like that. You are able to understand your data. So from there, let's go to data. So I think I'll finish up with this because this is like it's something else. So when you go to review, this one here, you can come and protect your sheets. You can check for the spellings and so on as you go. And then we have view. On the view side, here you always maybe want to print out this thing. And sometimes you print, when you print it directly, let's try it. This is a small data. You see it's giving you how many? It's giving you 9 pages. And on all those 9 pages, there is nothing on other pages. But maybe if I want to print it, we have not this one, not breaking. Yeah, this. So I will wish maybe to only print the first page. We just reduce these ones so that you don't have a lot of pages that comes out. Maybe if you want to print your data directly from Excel, and then once it's like that, and then click print, you are only printing one of them. So that is what is usually crucial when you are printing maybe your data. And then sometimes grid, you see we removed the grid from one part, so you can also come and remove them from this part. Okay, so like that. This one we've interfered with it, so you'll not be able to see those grids. But let's say we have the grids like this, you can just remove them from this part. And then we have the formula bar. You can decide to remove them, and the headers. You remain with something like this. So, but you can return them like that easily. So we have the macros. Macros are usually in VBA. So maybe if you want maybe to automate or to do anything. Sometimes you want to freeze your panes. You can decide to maybe come here, click, and then freeze. So immediately you click like that, it will freeze that first row like that. In case maybe you want to freeze from number 5, you just go to 5 and then click freeze like that. You are able to freeze it. I want to freeze maybe up to this point. You just do like that, and you are freezed the ones that you don't want. So like that. So developer, you are always required to activate it through the options part, and then there's somewhere you usually go to, on the ribbons. So you just come and click developer. If it's not active, you click developer, and then okay, you restart your PC, and then it will activate. So the only thing I know in developer on a personal level, it's something that I'm still also learning. VBA is usually important when you want to automate and so on. You can record the macros. For those who are maybe experts in VBAs and macros, I think they can show us their ways. But the only thing I think I've learned from the developer side personally is when I want to create maybe a scroll bar, I just come to developer and then click this scroll bar and then create something. I think this one will work on it once we are like, and then you use a formula like offset. Okay, so when you use offset, it will be able to create a very nice scroll bar. So you'll not need to like create a very huge, like to scroll down. So you can even like check the first 10, first 10, or you can decide maybe to like do a very quick analysis on your data, and you are able to like get to understand it, maybe the top 5, top 10, and so on. And then we have the Power Pivot. Power Pivot is something else also. It's something that we need to, it's a different topic that we will need to work on it. But we said here we can just use import here the pivot table. So what I will do, I will allow Ibrahim to go through the other one. And then once he's done, I'll come now to data. Data, this part, to import the data and then like try to like work on it on our query so that at least we can like understand the data. So Ibrahim, I'll like invite you to take us through the data, and then from there we'll be able to like maybe try to analyze it or try to do something small from the data. So welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Augustine. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, let me just share my screen. Are you able? Oh, it's loading. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, thanks. So this is the data that Augustine has been talking about, and hope that you guys are able to see it. So we generated this data. This is a farm that is selling drugs. It's based somewhere on this earth. We don't know where. So it's getting orders from customers from around the world, and these customers are ordering drugs. Drugs not per se like you take something that maybe should drug for medicinal drug. Let me use that word, medicinal drug. So like you can see, you have the first name, then you have the last name, is a customer's name, and then you have their gender, their date of birth, then you have their email addresses, then their IP address, then you have the customer ID, the country where they're based in, and then these are a country code. Like for example, Philippines is PH where they're based, and then you have the customer latitude and longitude, and then you have the customer pharmacy. So customer number 1, this is their pharmacy, and then This pharmacy is located in Portugal. And their customer lives in Philippines. Yep. And then drug ordered is aspirin. And then we have the order ID to trace that order, and order quantity ordered. So this is 25,747, and then the total price of this quantity is $1,564.71. So if you divide, maybe you can get like how much does a unit now cost. I think Jebet will come in to help on that if he will be available. So you have the discount that was given is 2%. The discount is in percentage is 2%. So if these are basically maybe the total of this price is 98%. So if like we can also go back to see like how much could they have like sold it if they did it 100%. And this is the order date and when that drug was ordered. And then we have the date of manufacture, when that drug was manufactured, and then we have the date of expiry, when it expired, and then we have the company that produced that drug, and then where that company is based, and also then you have the agent name. Maybe these customers are using agents to buy this drug, and then you have the agent ID. So basically, when you get such data, it's usually like dirty from the field. So the first thing that I usually do on my own from the practice is first of all to make the first column, like to highlight it. So I normally use like bold, and then I go to like light blue, just like that, just like it. So when it comes to analysis, you'll realize that there are certain columns that we will not need. So first of all, the ID. What does the ID mean? These, if you try and go back quickly, you can just see that these are just numbers. Maybe these customers were just like given number 1, 2, 3 up to somewhere. But you can see down here, we are having like these numbers, this 74, then you have 979. So these numbers are like mixed up. So one of the things that I've trained myself to do is to come here and then just like say this is number 1, because I want like to clean that column. And then on the second row, I will just like say equals to, then I pick the first row, then I add 1. So that one becomes number 2. And then so I just go down here and then you place your cursor here. I don't know what name do you use here. And then you double click, so it shall name them, all of them up to the last row. I think they are 38,000, something of the sort. Yeah, 38,000. So you can see that is one of the things that I normally do to go there quickly. So we will need the customer name and then the gender, the date of birth. For email, for analysis, maybe or maybe not, because I don't know if you're having blanks on this email. One of the shortcuts that I usually do to make to add filters on these column headers is to click anywhere on this data and then press Control, Shift, and the letter L. Control, Shift, and the letter L. You can see you have drop downs. Same if you want to remove, is press anywhere on the data set. Control, Shift, L. Filters have gone. So Control, Shift, L. We have those filters. So let me try and check if you're having any blanks here. Run quickly, yeah. So you're having blanks on that email address, but that's not important. Let's see. For example, we shall count how many female and male do we have. Let me see if we're having any blanks. We don't have blanks, so that's clean data. For the first name, we have blanks, as you can see. Sorry, that was the last name. First name. If you're having blanks, yeah, so you also have blanks. So let me try remove the column that I do think that we do not need. If you were to ask me, I would say that maybe we don't need an email address, but let me pass there first. Like an IP address, I believe this is for internet or something of the sort, but do you need it maybe in analysis? I don't know. So if my boss says that we don't need that one, what I'll do is to delete that column. We don't need it. The customer ID, I believe we shall need it. The customer country, so that when you are sending those drugs to that customer. We know in which country, so we'll need it. Country code, because we have the country, I don't think if we need it, because if you like say FI, that's a country code. Maybe there are other countries that use the same. So it will be very difficult even for an analyst to understand what does MG means for. So I believe this one is like irrelevant data, so I'll put it off. And then on the longitude and the latitude, maybe they can be used to draw map. So I discussed with Augustine, I leave them. Maybe he'll try and show us something if you're able to use these two columns, because these are the latitude and the longitude, maybe to come up with a map. So the customer pharmacy name, and I'm going very quickly. If I'm too fast, just slow me down. For the customer pharmacy, yeah, we need that. And where the pharmacy is located, yeah, we need that, because we are sending that drug to this pharmacy that is in Portugal, but the client is in Philippines. And this is the name of the drug, yep. So order ID, I believe they need to be unique, because if you are having like those that are repeating, then that means we won't know where to send, and maybe we made an error. So let's just check if you're having duplicate on this column. So I will highlight the column and then leave out the header. I just like click here and then leave out the header. If you scroll, immediately you see that you have highlighted up to the last row. So I will come here on conditional formatting and then just highlight anything that is duplicate. Yep, and then I'm highlighting with light red, with the light red fill with dark red text. But you can also choose if you want red text, if you want red border. You can also format the color that you want. You can come here, like choose the color that you want. Let us maybe use this yellow, but this yellow looks good to the eye. Let me try and use that one. So anything that is repeating should give us that color. So as you can see, I don't see anything that is repeating, but the data set is so huge. So what I'll do, I'll come here and then filter by color here. Yeah, so we have duplicates in this data set. And then maybe if I want to say that we have 114 custom ID, which like they have repeated, but not all of them are repeating. This one has counted like.
Hello, Ibrahim.
Yes.
I don't know if there's a delay on my end because it seems like you are breaking, or maybe I don't know if it's my network or something.
Maybe it could also be my network. I cannot know. It could also be on my end, but I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that.
I think you're moving too fast. I don't know.
Oh, I'm moving too fast.
From my end, I can hear you properly, but you're just too fast.
Okay, let me try and slow down a bit. That I had told you earlier, if I'm going too fast, you let me know. Let me try and slow down a bit. So on this column, let me just press Ctrl Z and then begin again. Let me see if I have highlighted anything. So nothing. So this is order ID, and order ID is something that needs to be unique. So I want to check if you're having any order ID that is repeating, so that we know maybe I've made an error somewhere. So what I'll do, I will highlight the entire column and then press Ctrl and select the first cell, because that is a header. So I'll have selected everything to the last one plus the empty spaces. But when I highlight, it will only highlight those that are repeating and not empty spaces. Another way of selecting that I normally use, just to click on the first cell, then run up to the last cell, and then press Shift, and then click on the last cell. Then it will like select all those, because these are 38,000 rows. Then I will come on conditional formatting. So I want to highlight duplicates. So I'll come here. You can see we're having duplicates, we're having a date that is recurring. You can highlight like based on many things that you want. Even here we have like more rules. can come and select more rules here the way you want. So let me just like focus on duplicates for now. We have duplicates here. No. So let me just go back, press cancel, and then go back to conditional formatting again, and then select duplicates. So I will highlight duplicates. Let me choose even green for now. Yeah, then press OK. So if you check on my data, there's nothing that is showing that like we are having duplicate order IDs. But when you come here and select on the drop down list, you can see now filter by color has been highlighted. That shows we are having like duplicate. So I will come and select this or this. So let me select filter by color because I've used this light green. So anything that has duplicated, it will now like it will be selected. So if you come down here, it tells you the count is 114. This means if you take 114 divided by 2, that is 57. This means 57 of these are duplicates. The other ones, they are not like duplicates. They are just like originals. So the other thing on how we can act or on how we can remove the duplicate, there's this tab here that Augustine has shown you, known as data. You can come and click here, data, and when you come on this, I don't know.
Hello.
Yes.
I have a question as you continue.
Yes.
Does this formula only work with the duplicates? For example, if you have three items with the same ID, does it apply still?
Yeah, because it's more than one, so we have duplicated it. But let me show you Nehemiah. If we go back to Home tab, and then we go to formatting, when it comes when you come to more rules down here, you've seen we have selected more rules.
Yes.
Then we're having the cell value. So on the cell value, we can even select specific text. We can select dates requiring, we can select blanks and all that. So here, the cell value, maybe we are trying to look for anything that is duplicate. So when we come here, you can see we have something like greater than, but this one is greater than, equal to, like less than, greater than or equal to. Most of the time, it will be used with not text, but like numbers.
Yes.
Do you get me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
like numbers. So for text, you can come and select. You see like here specific text. The one that I'm selecting specific text.
Yes.
Yeah. If I come here and say maybe, let me try and use here. Can we use this column? Let's see how this column is done. And then we come and say highlight more. And then I come and say specific text. Let me try this one and see if it will work. So we like here you can see you have group here, you have group here, you have group here. Let me try and write group and see if it will highlight for us. And then on the format, let me try and pick another color like red, and then say okay. Then say okay. Yeah, you can see it has highlighted anything to do with group. Yeah. So yes.
So it means that you had just an assumption that there were 15 duplicates, but it can have like 3 IDs of the same 4 or a 2. Or does duplicates simply means 2 of them, or it can be more?
It can be more. So I was just so I was like having an assumption.
Oh, sure. Okay.
After also going throughout this data.
Yes.
So let me Control Z. So
that's fine. Thank you.
That's fine. You're welcome. So let me try and see if there were 3, and Maya, I want you to keep an eye on what I'm going to be doing. Let me unselect this first cell. So let us come to data, and then we come to this. I don't know how we call this. An expert for Excel is Augustine, will tell us. Then you come to data tools here. Here you have data validation, and then if you hover your cursor here, it says remove duplicates. So here we're having 114. Let us see how many it will remove. So expand selection. Let me just continue with the current selection, and then let me press remove duplicates, and then we want to remove duplicates on this column that is known as order ID. So let me select. Okay, like 50, it tells me 57 duplicates found and removed. Can you say that, Nehemiah and the others?
Yes, I can see. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and now you can see like my data set is gone because I filtered here and I filtered on duplicates alone.
Oh,
You can see because I filtered on duplicates, and because because you have now removed the duplicates and the others that have remained that they are not duplicates, now like they will not be filtered anymore. They will like disappear.
okay.
Yeah, so we come back here and then select everything else so that we bring back our data. So this data, it has reduced from 38 to 37,944. So 57 of them are gone. So like we are only remaining with unique order ID. So these orders, they are now unique. It's only one order ID throughout the data set, right?
Yes, yes. So the
Yeah.
order ID is like the primary key for everything here.
Yeah. That is what you are considering like the primary key. We don't want them to be repeated because if you come to like customer ID, you can see this here, customer ID, Nehemiah, and
Yes,
the other
yes.
team. I am speaking to all of us. We are like
Yes.
peer coaching one another. This customer ID, we found out that a customer could appear like more than once, because if we come again here and then come to conditional formatting and then highlight duplicates, and then you highlight maybe now with the red text. You see that, Nehemiah?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we filter by this. You can see like, let this machine load a bit, and then we see so that I can also answer the question you asked me previously. You can see like this ID is like the same, this one.
Mm-hmm.
It appears like
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this client here, why we did not consider this like the primary key, could have purchased I think there's an error here, so this needs to be like the same country. Could be having like customer in different countries, could be having businesses in different countries, and even businesses in the same country but different businesses, and then he has placed different orders for the different businesses. That's why we are not considering that like a primary key, the customer ID. You get me?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and again, because you have now selected here, we can be able to see these are 109. But I believe maybe someone who's also an expert can also like answer a question. If a question comes out that maybe says how many customers have placed more than one order, then we can use like the customer ID to see how many customers have placed like more than one order, because this customer seems like he has placed like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 orders, right? Yeah, so let me like select everything else. So we have highlighted that one. I leave the way it is, and we were on where were we? We were on order ID, we are done with this column. So
Mbale,
yes,
I have a question. Sorry
Yes.
to take you back. When you had selected that customer ID, and we saw that there's a customer who had several orders. So will it have the same order ID?
Let us just verify that. So here, then we filter by color. Yeah, so let it run fast. This data is so huge. Yeah, there it is. We can even pick this one, or let me pick the one that I had picked. This customer here. It comes all the way, shift to here. So let us check on the order ID. The order ID you can see is different. Order ID, these are different orders. You see? Are you able to see if these are different order? So this order is for his business in Cuba, and this is the drug that he has ordered, and this is the pharmacy name. This data was generated by AI, so like we are trying to come up with a data that we can self-train ourselves. So you can see the order ID, they are different.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why we removed the duplicates, so that we make like the order ID to be my key for this data.
Let me ask something, Ibrahim.
Yes.
But normally, like for example, if you're ordering different things, like for example, I'm ordering like 5 different types of medicine at the same time, they'll be given the same order ID, isn't it?
You are ordering like the 5 different types of medicine.
Yes, I'm ordering. Like today, if I was to go and order at a pharmacy, 5 different types of medicine at the same time, they'll be given the same order ID, isn't it?
Yeah, it's possible to be given the same order ID.
So when you remove like the duplicates, see, you have gotten rid of some of the data.
Yeah, but our assumption when we came up with this data, we were basing like the order ID should be unique, so that we use it like the primary key for training.
So we are assuming that this person, when they go to order, they're ordering one item only, not multiple items. That is your assumption.
Yeah,
let me assist you there, Ibrahim.
Yes.
Let me help in answering that. You see, Nemo, this is a wholesaler, like someone is ordering in bulk. You see?
I understand that.
And when you are ordering from, let's say, like when you are ordering from the source factory, you can decide to like bring your, let's say you are sending an LPO. Once you send an LPO, you will request each and every LPO to come with different like let's say if it's a specific medicine, you will order it using a specific like invoice.
I'm not refusing. What I'm saying is, it's like we are assuming this person, when he goes to buy like fluconazole, he will go and buy fluconazole only. If he wants to go and buy dextrose and sodium chloride, he will have an LPO for that. And that is the assumption that you're using to say that order ID is unique.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Because we wanted like to have like a primary key, because when we looked at this data, we wanted even to use like the customer ID to be the primary key. But we found out, what if a customer has made like more than one order? You see? So these are an assumption that we are just making. It's not that this is maybe the real situation on the ground.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay, you're welcome. So like you see on this, let's go to the next column. That is the order quantity. I don't know how to pronounce these names. You'll forgive me for that. So I don't know. Let me just like say this drug here. Whoever can see, let me try like maximize it. Whoever can see that and read. Like this drug here, this is the order for this drug. And they were ordered 1,111 pieces, right? And this is the total amount that that customer paid. That is 14,426.82 USD. So this customer was given a discount of 1.9% because of ordering that. And then this is the order date. So we were thinking like the price and the order quantity, there were no blanks. I don't think if there were blanks. No blank. Let me see on the total price. Yeah, we have no blanks. And then here we have blanks on the discount because there are some other items that were never given any discount. So that is fine for us. And then we have the order date. And Emma will try and use this to come up with like, there's a name that you used, Nehemiah, yesterday when we were planning for this, like a trend to show us like how they've been ordering those drugs. And this is the date of manufacturer of the drug, and this is the date of expiry, and this is the company name. So I think the rest, they're just good. But these ones, they also, we checked, they also repeat because an agent can be like appearing multiple times. But this is just data for training. Someone wants to speak?
I have a question. For the price. The price.
The price is here.
Could you click on one cell, please?
Yeah.
Why is it general? Why couldn't you just because I think when you say it's general as a number.
Yeah. Let me remove this filter so that we have all the data, and then come again on
for the total price.
Yeah, I've clicked on the first cell.
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Is it supposed to be general or is it supposed to be currency? Because it is left aligned. It is left aligned, so it means it is a string instead of a number.
Yeah, and these are some of the things that Augustine will come in to explain.
Oh,
for this,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
and also, Augustine will come in to explain on how to change this date, because you can see these days like they are complicated. I don't know how to do this, but Augustine knows, so he will come in once I'm done. Mine was just to explain like how you can do small data cleaning, and also to go ahead with your question. I don't know who asked that question because I'm sharing my screen. Let me create another sheet here and then try. You see like this total price. I want to see like how much do all these drugs cost. So let me do something here. So let me like come here and then say total revenue. So equals to sum. I'm working on another sheet. So I'll come click on this sheet and then try like to scroll down. Let me put my cursor there. Go down this way. And then shift here. And then let me close the bracket and press enter. It gives me a 0, simply because you started with a dollar sign, which is a text. It cannot add. So one of the things that we normally do is now select all these, because everything starts with a dollar sign. I will go the shortcut way. I just come here and then say replace. I want to replace that dollar sign with nothing. So I'll just like put here dollar sign and then replace with, I leave it blank with nothing and then say replace all. So it will replace everything. And then all done, we made 38,000 replacements. Let me see if this one works for us on this other sheet. Yeah, so I think it has given me a price. So you can see it can add up. Because it was like a text format, you cannot add because they are not numbers. But because now it has added, it is like they are numbers. Now we can see we have a figure. Can everybody see?
Could you please, instead of removing the dollar sign, try and change the general to currency and see if it will work.
And let's see it works. So let us Control Z. Oh, okay, let it run. So it is run, and then we see if it will work. That's a very good day. So it's still selected. Yeah. So you want me to change this to
Currency.
currency here? Currency, right?
Yes.
That way.
Yes.
And then go back to our sheet, huh? And then maybe we say like equals to so we are running from here. Yeah, I think it's that 8,001. It's not working. You can see you have a 0. Have you seen? You have the
Yes,
formula,
yes.
but it's not working. Yeah. So I believe we need to remove anything. If you're working with numbers, we don't need to have any other character, not unless someone else knows an idea of how you can go around and work with numbers. I don't know. So what I've been doing, like the way I personally work, if I have such a huge data set, I normally like open another sheet. I can just come here and rename this sheet to analytics. And then if I want to do anything on this data, I'll be like borrowing. Even if like you can even pick a name. I saw even a name, you can just like say equals to, come here and then pick this name and then just press enter. This name will come here. So that's things that I've done for myself in the past, and I'm leaving this work for analytics to Augustine.
Still on that part I was telling you about currency.
Mm-hmm.
You see, if you removed the dollar sign from that total cost.
Yeah, this one. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you remove the dollar sign and then you go to currency.
Mm-hmm.
You instead of having the dollar sign, you first remove it, and then the numbers that will show, you change the numbers to currency. It will work because it will assign the dollar sign by itself.
Okay, so thank you so much. Let us do. I don't know your name. I'm not seeing you. I'm sharing my screen. So let us replace dollar sign with an empty space. So you have replaced. Close that. So you are telling me that why are these?
You see, it has brought the euros because
because you had selected euro before.
Yes.
So should we try?
Because the data is from Portugal and they use the euros.
The euros.
So it's euros or sterling pound, I think. Like
this currency. So you want us to try add the way it is?
Yes. Now, if you add now, I think it will work.
Okay, let me do that. Yeah, it says even worked. See, the formula is still here. Does it even worked? Because the formula, we still have the formula. You can see that. Hello?
Yeah, it can be seen.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat what you did?
Okay, what we did was this. Okay, let me Control Z, then go back. The data is heavy, so the machine is running like a bit slow. So this data set came when the prices were in dollar sign. You can see that. This dollar sign here. You can see this dollar sign. Hello?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so all the prices, they are in, they have come with that symbol of a dollar sign. All the prices. So what my friend was saying is that when you come to analytics and then we say add, we're trying to sum all that. So let me try and do at the center of here. Sum. Then we go back to our sheet. So we are adding all these, and it goes up to P38, 38001.
Mm-hmm.
So when you try and add this, it will give us a 0. You can see you're having a 0.
Yes.
Simply because this data set is you said it was in what? The person who said it is in currency or general or text?
It's in text.
Text form. It's in text form.
It's in text form. So he was suggesting that we change we can select all that and then replace the dollar sign. You can say like you come here and key the dollar sign and then replace it with an empty space so that we remove all the dollar signs. So after removing all the dollar signs, it was supposed to not to have the dollar sign, but because I had selected here, it was supposed to come like this way because we had removed the dollar sign. Then this one we can easily add. So you can see it has even given us like a figure here.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. We are here. We are listening.
Okay, but when you come on home and then come to numbers and then change this this format from general to currency, so it has picked the sign of a pound as the currency. It will still work because because the data set is in form of a currency. It will still work. You can see it's still working.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the first time, because it is having a dollar, it cannot work. So he was suggesting you can also change this to currency so that you still keep that format, that even if when a person comes and look at that data, he or she can understand that this is currency, and then it will still work. Right?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So just something that I wanted to show you. I normally, if I have so many data like this, I normally come to another sheet, and anything that I want to play around with this data, I come to this sheet.
Now, perhaps before you go to the other thing, does it support only one currency? Is there a possibility to use a different currency? For instance, dollar instead of that pound?
Yeah.
Let me leave this question to the person who has given us this idea.
Okay.
I don't know who I'm talking to. Yeah, kindly answer us because I also want to learn from you.
Yes,
Thank
it's
you.
possible. I'll work on that.
Okay.
You'll work
thank
on
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nehemiah, I don't think if there's anything else that you wanted me to continue doing, or I give you the floor and also Mildred. I don't know.
Not really. In case I have anything, just ask. Just random. I don't have
Okay.
anything.
Okay. So Augustine, I believe I'm done with the assignment that you gave me, or you wanted me to do some analysis. I don't know. Thank you.
Okay, Sawa. Let me start from where you've just left.
Okay, and then should I upload this data to the group so that you use it, or you'll clean it, or you'll use?
Okay, can you just share that?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, to that small Nini. I just upload it and then I continue from where you just left.
Okay, let me save it and then share it. So let me stop sharing my screen. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Sawa.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Abraham.
You're welcome, Anema.
So in the meantime, as I'm waiting for that data to come, we can maybe ask some few questions if there's any.
Maybe is there a formula in Excel maybe to do a group by on some data, in other stuff like SQL, Power BI, you had an opportunity to group by. Is there an option like that in Excel or a sheet?
Maybe that is an advanced way of doing it, but in Excel it will be a very long formula. I think you'll need to embed a lot of things.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, because even in Power Query for Excel, you find that you'll not find those group by as much as you'll still use DAX, because you also use DAX in it's called M language in Power Query in Excel. And that is what I want to just present, maybe. And then Mildred will maybe take us, in case we'll still have to some time, Mildred will take us through some few like formulas that we had planned for, and then, or maybe we can plan for the next time for now to work on the formulas.
Okay, is it part of VBA?
Okay, sorry, just to disturb you a bit, Nehemiah.
Yes, yes.
Augustine, I've shared that data. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you.
You're welcome.
So I will use this data that Ibrahim shared to just answer the question about the dollar sign. I believe my screen is visible.
Yeah, visible.
Okay, sawa. Here it is. So this is the data that has been cleaned by Ibrahim. So I will start from to address some few points that I think we had observed, and I think something that we learned as we were looking at this thing is that this data was uploaded from a database. I think after it was created created inside a database, and it was uploaded now into Excel. And something I think Excel usually do. Sorry, I think I'm now messing up with it. So something that Excel usually do when it uploads the data, I think the command that it usually does, in case maybe that it's not able to read the data correctly, it usually converts the data to a text format. That is the language that maybe it understands, or there's that language. I think something like that. Just my thinking. So that is why you will find that something like this one here, this date here, we transformed this data through different, let's say, different places until by the time it was loaded here, you find that it's able to only read the. This is not a date format. This is a date format. And if you want to understand that, you can change this to a number. When you change it to number, anything that is date, it will change to a number, a specific number. Like this one, if I copy it and take it to this part where the analytics was done and change it to date, it will give me a specific date, because dates are usually converted to numbers when you turn it. But when you try to change it like this, you'll be able to find that these ones, anytime you see your date running like this, it means that date was not Excel was not able to read that date correctly, and this is an issue that you will always find. So the best thing to do is to make sure that this has been converted correctly to the correct dates that are needed. So the same way that Ibrahim used to create to turn this from a text format to its correct format, you just do the same with this column. So what you do is select the entire column, because this entire column is meant for dates. So we have this and we have another one down here. And if you want to know that this data can really mess you up totally, is when you run it through, maybe when you try to maybe run an automation. And automation, you usually run it through the Power Query in Excel. So this one, the first thing I will do, so that at least I can show you how it can have a very big impact, because I know most of us, before, this is what I could do. I could just come to, maybe when I was running a report, I could just come like that, because this one I can see the alignment are not good. And yes, I know how to run the alignment. I could do like this. If anyone gets this data, they will know that everything is fine up until someone tries to like change it to a date. In fact, even it's reading for you, it's a date in a date format. So what you do, and when you try to search online, because that is what I did, you will always be told to come and change the local thing here. So when you try to change, most of the time, this one is in Kenyan English. So you'll try to change maybe to United States or United Kingdom. So you'll find that even if you change to United States, this is the only thing that will change. This other one, it's still in the other format. So date. Mostly we usually use United States and UK when we come to things to deal with data. So what you do, you come to data here. If I want to change it to specific, like to turn it back to dates, and then come to text to column, because it's in a text format. So I want to turn it back to its correct column. So it will show me the preview of the data. So you leave it at the method like that, and then click next. Here you need to like make sure that nothing is selected here. Like this one, it has tab. You unselect the tab and then click next. Once you click next, you now select the correct format that you want it to be, because we already know that we want. You come to date and then select the date format that you want. I want it to be in, let's say, day, month, and year. So I can select that like that and then click finish. Once you click finish, this has been changed to specific date. And to prove that, you come to home, click on numbers. Okay, still not working. Let's see. Something is up because it had worked. Now, these are some of the things that usually happen. Okay, just a minute. Yes.
Could you try changing the format to month, day, year?
Oh, the country that I used.
Not the country, like the format to.
Okay, let's try that. Next. Month, day, year. Oh yeah, that works. Now I think that is what we need to use when we are converting it. Now that one has changed. Thank you.
Could you please repeat the process?
A bit lower.
Okay, sour. Now I've undone everything. So one thing, when you get a data that has dates, or maybe you've passed it through different formats, because I realized also when you pass it through, like let's say Google Sheet, and then you try to take it back to a different version of Excel, you'll find that it will bring the same issue. So what usually happens is we try to convert to direct it to read the right date. So because this column is the right column, the entire column is a date column, so you just select the entire column like that, so that maybe in case down here there are more data that are added, they are just converted directly, or they don't give you a lot of problems. So what you do, you go to data here. This it's usually a very powerful tool that you can use. You go to data and then you go to text column here. Once you click text column, you go to delimit the pronunciation. You go to this, okay, and then you click
delimited.
Okay, yes, that delimited, and then you click next. Once you click next, most of the time you'll find that this tab is, for me, I found that this tab was clicked. So it's advisable you unselect everything on this part, and then you click next. Okay, once.
Can you try to tell me maybe if you know the purpose of that tab? Because I seem to know the others, but now tab, I'm not sure about it. Do you have an idea?
Comma is for CSV space. I think these are separators.
But
something that is used to separate or what? I don't know. I'll not say that I know.
oh, sure.
Yeah,
But
it's a separator. I don't know if your keyboard is like mine, but it's that thing that is standing like this. It's at the chin.
Oh,
oh
I
yeah,
don't
I
know
know.
what space you run it.
this is the one that is written tab.
No, it's not written tab. You see where there is an inverted slash, like they share the same spot in the keyboard. It's straight, like it looks like a one. Like I don't know how to explain it, but maybe I'll take a picture and then I'll send it.
Okay.
Or at the vertical line, or at that pipe.
Yeah,
You're talking.
yeah,
Yes.
that's pipe.
Okay.
Oh, it's like a one. Let me use on screen. On screen keyboard. On screen keyboard. Which one is it here? This one.
Yeah. I think.
Okay, so
Okay, thank you.
and then click next. So here it seems that it only accepts the first one, this one, MDY, so that it can convert it. And then you click on finish. Once you click on finish to just test if it has worked, you just come and check on there. You just convert it to days. To be
That's what.
yes.
See, the reason why we are selecting that month, day, and year, it's because of how the date appears in your column. So if it was appearing like month, like date, month, and year, that's how you do it.
Oh, thank you.
You have to check.
Thank you for that. I did not. I think I just learned that also. So thank you for sharing that. So this one, you come and now after you've now confirmed that it's correct, like the data is like running correctly, you just come and give it to the right date, like that, and then now you can now come to more formats, and then now like change to different maybe formats. You can decide to change it to United States, and everything will just work correctly. So this means that your data is working correctly. So the most important part of Excel, it's usually this part here. And if there's a part that will always like give you a lot of headache if you don't like your formats are not correct. It's this part of data. Like maybe when it's in general, it will not give you a lot of like you will see everything working correctly. But when you try to change to different like different formats, that is where now you will know that maybe they are giving you a lot of problems. So let me just return it to UK. It's usually the better. And then also you can customize it the way you want. So you can come to more, and then on the date, you can decide now to customize it. You can go to custom.
What's
Yes.
What's
Yes.
I don't know if it might.
Yes. Am I good?
Yes, you are very, very good.
Okay, so I can decide maybe to customize my data. Let's say like you find that maybe you've been given a specific format, or you are finding that maybe the data is made on a specific format. In Excel, it's easy. You just come and delete that, and then now put your format like that. Is it a month? Month is twice.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, someone is requesting that you could repeat how you did that on the chat.
Which one? The format it's creating of this, transforming it from text format to date.
Yes, you said you should say how you check again for the date format.
Okay, I've now gone back to where we started. So this is a data that maybe you've received. Let me just move away from this one and work on the one that we had started with, the original one. This is now the original one. When we received this data, we realized that, this one, I had already changed it. Okay, when we receive this data, you find that sometimes because it's coming from a database or it's coming from different data sets, you find that sometimes you get a data and then it's in different formats. Okay, so the first thing that it's usually you do is to check if the dates are correctly, they are good, they are correctly formatted. Most of the time, you are usually told that you check on the locale. So how do you check the locale? There are different ways. So you can go to maybe more here, and then you change. This is the locale. You can change the locale to maybe different locale. Like these mostly we usually use United States or United Kingdom locale. So depending on where the data is coming from, now you can change it from this to this. Changing it like that, you will find that this one up here has not changed. It's still the same. It's not changing. So meaning this data is still on text format. And even if you change it to number, dates are usually numbers. A number, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, like that. When it comes to through a spreadsheet. So what you do, you can just go and just test it and select the entire sheet and then change it to a number. So once you change it to a number, you'll find that there are those that are still remaining as if they are still dates. So meaning this data is it's still on text format. So you just undo. I'll just undo and then now try to convert the text formats to transform. I'll try to transform the text format to go to be in date format. So what we do, we go to data to data, and something that is very much important, the one what we've just been guided is to check the format. Which format is it? This is month, date, and year. So when you are transforming it, to find the right numbers, you need to make sure that you are using month, date, and year. So you go to data, select the entire column, and then go to data, and then go to text to column here. Once you click text to column, you leave this checked. The limit, that is difficult for me to pronounce, that one, and then you click next. This one, you'll find that maybe tab is or even semicolon. So here you are advised to unselect everything, and then you click next. Now here we go to date, because this is a date column. You just go to date and then go select month, day, and year. Once you select that, you click finish. Once you click finish, it will just organize itself like that. Once it has organized itself, go to home, and then you can just test with a number like that. Immediately it turns to a number like that. It means it's okay. So for you to get, now you can take it back to date and then check. You can now change the locale, or maybe you've been told for it, like this one here, you want to change it maybe to date, month, and year. This is a year, month, and date. So you can go to custom. Sorry. You can go to custom. You can just play along here, go to here, and then go to custom. Or even go directly to locale and change it from United States to United Kingdom. Like that. That way, that is day, month, and year. So for they are usually different. Like for United States and UK, it's like an opposite of the other one. But now sometimes you can find that you have been given a specific method that you need. You can run through that by just coming to more and then go to custom, and then you customize your your data, your date format. You can decide to be maybe in that is let's say month. No, so month you do 2 month because it's 0 something, and day it's 0 something also, and then here you can do 3 times or 4 times, whichever you will wish to use, and then click OK. Once you do that, it will just change. And then now to just confirm that this, maybe I would like to maybe extract the year from this data. Let's say I want to extract the year, you can just come to, okay, let's say I want to extract the year, I can come to this part and then click text. And then now select the cell that I want, and then do. Mostly this one is used because we are using maybe from 1998 and 2000, and maybe you want to work on to find maybe the trends that are there. The best thing that you can do, you can extract maybe the year, so that maybe you can work on the years, maybe extract the year, the month, mostly year and month that are usually used most of the time. So, and then you do like that 3 times. So text, and then you take the value. Yeah. Okay, this one we'll just look at it later after I'm done. So that is how you can check, or you can check for maybe the year, so that it will just extract the year alone, and then you can also extract something like the month. So I think that one is clear up to that point for now. So I would now wish to go to Power Query a little bit to touch on some Power Query part. So sometimes you can do the same. I think I did not get it how you can do it on Power Query, but now Power Query can act as can do all that work all together. So let me just go to
And I thought you were, or maybe it is in the, maybe later, you were to maybe help me to understand how to include other currencies.
Currency. So, but let me get to the currencies. Sorry. So here, let's say you are on this tab. So general, this is the formatting that you use. So currency, you go to this part of currency. So most of the time, you will find that you need to customize your currency. So these ones are always the general ones that you'll always find. But if you want to go, you go to more formats. And then there's usually general here, and then number, and then currency. So on the currency, here it has been written none. So you go here. So let's say you want to transform it to a Kenyan shillings, you just click there, and then that. Once you click that, it will just transform it to Kenyan shillings like that. And then the more you continue using it, it will just pick the currencies that you, maybe the common currencies that you are using. Like this one here, maybe let's see if it will not pick by only one. So that is in Kenyan shillings. You can choose your currency here, always. Or maybe you want to use accounting also the same. You can choose your currency. So for accounting, let's say you are using Kenyan shillings. It will just indicate. Mostly with this space between, it's much better because it's easy to understand. So you can decide now to choose any other currency, or even I think it's here, more accounting formats.
How did you create that space? Sorry.
There's a difference between currency and accounting. For accounting, it will always give you that space. And then now you can decide now to pick your decimal place. Like here, you maybe pick 2, or you can increase to 3, so that at least it becomes uniform.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then so data like this one, it's good also to be including maybe these commas like that, and then you reduce those one maybe to 0, mostly maybe the quality, so that you can understand whether it's in thousands or in hundreds. Okay. So this one also, and then maybe you reduce something like that. So also Excel is usually very much powerful, because you'll find that in Excel we also have Power Query, the same way we have it in Power BI. So when you get to data here, in data you can do everything that you need to to do. You can group your data, like maybe you are working with different years. You can decide to select a specific rows and then group your data using this like that. So you can maximize and minimize the data that you want to work with. You can decide to use like one sheet like this, like with the thousands of rows, to work on maybe simple analysis using just groups, so that maybe whoever you present the data to can just find everything in one sheet, rather than like running a lot of sheets with a lot of information. You can only like use grouping to like make your data be simple. So that one, and then maybe I want now to transform this data, so that maybe I try to run some small analysis, maybe by creating pivot table and so. A data like this one, you cannot just create a pivot table on it like that. It will give you a lot of headaches. You will have a lot of you will suffer a lot with such a data. So what usually happen is, after we've transformed that, let me just save it. So you can open another tab like that, and then like get the data. So you see this is almost the same thing that we were doing in Power BI. So you can get it from either Excel, from workbook, from CSV, JSON, and so on, a lot. And I think they are still adding more things that we can do. So our data is in Excel format. So you just click from Excel. Now it will always give you that warning. Let me work on it on a different. Let me open a new workbook. Sorry, this thing will make. Let me do it on this so that it does not hang. So you go to data, get data, and then it's on downloads, and then get it from this point, and then you import it. Once you import, you'll see just now that transformational part. This is how it usually look like. So you just select what you need to transform. So we need to transform the customer order part. So you just click the customer order, and then you click transform. If you click load, it will just load directly to your Excel. So what you do, you just click transform, so that you do the query on this side. So this is now where everything is done. So like this one here, you will see it did not, like, I think it has loaded the data like without finishing the work that we had done. Like here, you'll find that everything, like ID is in a number format, first name is in text format, text. This one, it's confused. It's a text, and some are text formats, and others are in number formatting. So when you turn it to date, you'll see an error. So meaning this one is like transformed. It has not been transformed correctly. So the others, let's see the others first before I get back to see where the issue was. There was that with these ones are, you see, these ones have been like uploaded correctly. Those are date formats, which are okay. And then we have the other one that had pricing. Pricing is okay if we look at it here. So the only part that did not like load correctly, it's this date. So what I will do, because I think I don't remember, I don't know how to work on it on because here you need to like work on a you need to do the you need to do some query here for it to like work. So what I'll do, I just like go back to my I'll just move my data to my working area so that at least I can be able to see where the issue is. So this is what we've been working with. Just give me a minute. I'm just trying to make that process to automate it. Okay, so I'll go here. Let me work on it on the same data set. So you pick what you need. Now it has picked it correctly here. So I just want to do something. So here, once you confirm that your data is okay, you can now close it. Now this one will create this part here. So this one now you can like do changes on the original data set, and it will, you just click refresh, or you go back to the query and you go back to your query and update your data. Like this one here, let's say I want to add some other, let's say I want to add another column here. I think I'm forgetting how to create day and month. Let's say I want to extract month. Oh, this one, there was a data validation. How did you do it? Ibrahim, how did you validate? How do I validate this data? I think there's a data validation that was passed through here, so I don't know what Ibrahim did. Oh, Let me try to remove the filters and see. Still not clicking. I think we've seen how the cleaning was done. Let me use the original data because I think that one picked. This one. Yeah, this one is taking. So we'll just use this one for so I want to extract the month and the year from this. So we usually use the text format to extract maybe the year and the month. So Excel will always tell you what you need to do. Like here, there are those that you can see that we still have the text data. So we just pass that. And it will pick my years. So from here, I can decide now to go to my query, so that maybe I come back and work on So these are some of the frustrations that you'll always get when you are trying to work with the data. Sometimes they accept, sometimes you don't get it right. So I did not save my data from this other side. But anyway, let me close and load and save this. So once you save that, you can go back to your Power Query by just double clicking there, and then you double click and then you refresh. Yeah, it has picked. So this is how you automate your data in Excel, because anything you do on the original data set, it will just upload. It will update on. It will update on your Power Query, and then now if you've created maybe like you've created something like let's say you created a pivot, it will just update on the pivot and then also on your on your analysis tab. So there's this thing that we are working on Power BI. So you can just do the same on this. And then this one now uses M language when it comes to its DAX. So that one, I am not well conversant with the DAX, so I'll not say that I know how it works. But once you are done with this and you are now comfortable about everything, like this one here, it should be, let's say, anyway, let's leave it the way it is, because we can, let's Let's change it to date. Let's change this also to date and see. Okay, it will give us error. So this one, we leave it the way it is. Was it text? Oh,
Waswa,
yes.
there are people in the chat who are asking you to redo how you put your data into Power Query, like the whole process you've just been doing.
Oh, so sorry, try to monitor the chat for me in case there are questions there, because I think I'm here. So what you do in when you want to maybe to automate your data, because each and every time we believe that maybe if you are working in an organization, every day new data comes in, and maybe if you are using Excel to do your analysis, you cannot continue every day. You are repeating the same thing. So once you do your setup the way we've done, or you've done you've passed your data through like a query, or you've passed your data through a channel, like you are directing your data through a specific channel. So each and every time you update your original data set, it will always pass through that channel as it. What you will only do is to go to your final analysis that you had created to make sure that everything is running correctly. So another thing is you need now to automate this data after you've now cleaned it up, and then you have ensured that everything is working correctly. So you go to a data here, and then you get data. You go through get data. So it can be from different different files. Let me use the word files, or from a website. If you are using Excel 2018, I think, and above, you'll see your URL looks like this. If you are using below 2018, you'll find that it's very funny. Even you cannot even get your data. It has a very long process and a lengthy process of getting your data. So this is how you get your data. It depends with the source that you are getting your data from. Our source currently is in Excel. Excel, not even in CSV, it's in Excel format. So you go to from workbook. So once you click from workbook, you go to the directory where your data, like your Excel sheet is. Like mine is on the desktop on Excel training. So you click on that directory and then click import. So when you click import, you will locate like where your data is. This one has a lot of things. So even I don't know the one, oh, it's this one here. So mock data training. So like this sheet has a lot of like data, like this. It has a lot of things on it. So this is what I need. You just click the one that you need, or if you want to enter everything, you just click that and activate. You can now click all the things that you need. And then now you can work on different sheets, because these are different sheets on one workbook. So for now, I just need one sheet, this one. And then you click, you don't load. If you load, it will just take you directly to Excel and open another sheet. So you need to transform it. Always click transform data for you to be able to like read your data and try to understand it. So like this one here, the thing that we need, this one is a number text. This is a number format. This is a text. Always look at this part, and if you want to change your data type, you just click up there, and it will take you back to what we've been looking at in Excel. So you can change it either to currency, to number, and then also here you can use local if you are using dates. So you can change to different locales. So either US or UK, or even you can change to different time zones. So for these ones, they are okay. And then now you can maybe run some small analysis around. Okay, so you can check each and everything. If they are running correctly, mostly check on the dates. And I think the other one that we were looking at, because sometimes you can add another. Let's say you can decide to add another column and decide like to now like make the data be correct the way it's supposed to be. Like this one, most of them, if I look at them, they have transformed correctly. So once you are done, you just click, you go to home, you close and load. Okay, once you click close and load, it will give you, now we are working with mock data training 2. So when we are working with that, there's this training 1 and then training 2. So anything we do on the original data set, we'll always we just refresh it on this other side. Like this one here, let's do something. Can decide to copy only this one here and paste it down here. And then this is the original data set. And then now we go back to our, this is indicating that we have 38, this is 38,000 flat. It was up to somewhere here. Let's see if we can transform it. You go to transform and then refresh preview. Once you click refresh, you click close and load. It's supposed to change. It will give you that. Okay, it's the same data set. So most of the time it can maybe, depending on how it was passed, you see it will delete some of the data sometimes. So once you are done with that, now you can maybe create your, you can now decide now to create your simple pivot table. And how do you do that? You can just go to the first tab here. Mostly the pivot table, you are trying to maybe create something very simple, maybe you want to understand the sales, how are the sales in a specific year, or what is the trend. Most of the time you look at the trends, you look at maybe between male and female gender, you can look at which gender maybe was the highest purchaser. That one you can use something like it's called pie charts, because it's two, either female or male, and then maybe the others you can use different, maybe you can look at different countries and something like that. Because this data is very huge, and this most of the time you find that maybe it's when you are maybe trying to explore your data, you just run different things. I'll not say that I'm an expert in creating those high-end visual, but maybe when it comes to I'm just trying to run maybe some to understand the data, how it is. So I'll just do a simple one. So I'll go to Inserter, pivot chart, pivot table, and then click to a different sheet. So here I can run my summaries. I can decide to bring my year to the rows. Those are all the years that we have. It will just isolate 1 year. So it will just group all the years, from 1963 so to 2000. Looking at our data, it's very hard to even run through it and understand how the number of years. But using this, I've just created a summary. Okay, and I'll be very much interested in understanding how much maybe the drugs were sold and the quantities that were sold. Okay, so what I'll just look for is the total price of the drug. Okay. And then something else with this one here, I have a lot of distractions on my sheet. So what I'll need to do is to just do the simple formats that we were talking about when we started. So most of the time, what I do is to come to view. I think I don't like working on Excel with these scales here because they are so distracting. So what I do, I just go to remove the grids. I remain with a plain sheet. And then what I do also, because if you continue working on it and you are maybe working on your final thing, and you decide to use different colors as you continue, you'll find that at the end, maybe you want to use a specific color as a background. So you can set your background in the beginning. So let me just set my background. I like using this blue or purple, whichever. No, I like blue because it's dynamic in a way. So like this, and then now create my white space on the back side.
And your contrast is not good. Oh yeah, okay, it's fine.
I just wanted to create my white space on the back so that at least I remain with a specific area, so that I have a dark background, so that at least I can be comfortable working on it. You see, working on a white space, a very huge white space, you can find that it's distracting for me. It distracts my eyes. So this one, I'm looking at the total price. I can yes.
Sorry, Nemo is raising her hand.
Yes.
Kindly repeat pivot tables. I think you are too fast for me. I kind of got lost.
Oh, noted.
Okay.
So let me just delete this. I believe we are all together up to a point of this point of now bringing the data back to Excel, maybe when you want to analyze it. So pivot table goes hand in hand with mostly charts. Maybe when you are trying to explore your data, I know only how to explore the data, but now when it comes to like working on those high-end analysis and maybe creating stories, I'm a student also there. So pivot table, I like using it mostly when I'm trying to understand, summarizing my data maybe, so that maybe I understand more about it. So let's say I want to create a pivot table. You go to insert. When you go to insert, you click, because I've already created a table, and when you create a table, it just creates a summary of the entire table. You don't need to go, most of the time, if the normal way, we go and do this. You see, we are still in 1,000, we have not even reached 1,000. That is what we could do on the original data set. But now we are using a pivot table. No, we created a table, it's called tables. So you just go to the first column here, this first row, first column here, and then click pivot table. It will take the entire range of table 2, mock data training table 2. So it will just copy the entire table, and then you can either use the existing worksheet or new worksheet. I like using new worksheet so that at least I can have a lot of, I don't let's say, interfere with the original data set. So you turn it to this other side. So here it will give you a working area here, and this side is for you make your adjustments and do most of your workings here. And then I said it's good to start by formatting your cell, your workbook first, so that when you are working with different colors, you don't interfere with your original workbook. You can either decide to use the white space itself, or for me, I like using something with a dark background, so that at least I don't get distracted when I'm trying to work on different things. And then it's best practice to remove the grid lines, because if I do this and then come, sometimes you can click either no fill, or instincts will always tell us to do what? To come and click this color white. When you click that, you don't see any grid. Okay, but still the grid is still there. If you send to someone and they click no fill, you'll find that they'll be able to see the grids still there. They are still available. So what you do, we start by removing the grid, and then I'll do my way. Everybody can do on their own, the way you prefer, depending on your preference. So sometimes you can click on this pivot table and it does not come. So you can right click and then maybe click on show list. When you click show list, it will always show this side. So once you do that, the first thing is do things that can be done on the pivot table. Mostly they can be used to aggregate, or to anything with numbers, it's easy for it to run, or things that are repetitive, like something like gender. You can do that. There are different genders here. you can see there are different genders, apart from male and female. And then you can decide maybe to check in these genders, which gender, like let's say drugs ordered, you look at the drugs that were ordered by this gender. Okay, so I'll prefer to like turn this to that color, and then once you're done, you can decide to work on it. Like you can now work on the final part, so that at least you remain with the that background. So my interest was to look at maybe in different years. These ones you can remove them. So I was interested in looking at year, something like that, and then looking at let's say total price that year. Let me look at something. So, and if you can look, the price is on count. So what you do, you just come here and then you edit it to sum. Now it's reading 0, meaning there is a problem with the way the years are formed. Okay, so we can go back to our Power Query. Now my Power Query has disappeared. So you look at the Power Query Connect, and then you look at the total. I know where the issue is. So I think it's where that total year had the $sign. You can see it here. So what you do in Power Query, like this one, this is an error. I think we overlooked, we did not see it. So what happens is I'll just come and add a column, and then from the existing column, and then from this one here, I will, we are looking at this. So this has a $sign. So what you do, you write the correct thing here. Like this one is 3257.6.98. So Power Query will just like predict what you are trying to do, 95. So you do like 3 or 4.40, and then that one is 62.82. So once you do that, you can click OK. Okay. Once you click OK, it will pick the correct thing. So what you do, this one here, you can render it not useful. So just copy this title here and then delete, remove this from the workbook. Remove the entire one. And then now we have our total here. So this is something you can do either in Excel. If the other one could not have an issue, we could just use that. And then once you are done, just click close and load. Once you click close and load, it will bring it here. So now this is the importance of now our automation. So once you close and load, you come and click refresh on this other side. It will load. So close this.
Why are you using sum?
Sorry, this is total price. We are looking at the total price.
Aren't we supposed to use like the count? It shows us like in 1963, how many prizes were there? Or
I guess it depends with what the information.
I don't understand why we're using sum.
Nemo. It depends with the information that you're looking for. So maybe I'm looking for the total sales in a year. That's when I use sum.
Yeah.
And then if I'm looking at the number of items that I sold, that's when I look for count.
Yeah, you use count. So it depends. You can just like manipulate this here. So you see like this one here, it's like in wrong formatting. So that is why now it's giving me this. Oh, I did not start from the original one. Now these things are like connected. Okay, let's do the way it was done originally. Where is the total price? Here. You see on the original form, it's still, this thing we are using it in the same in the same sheet, a workbook. So we have to start from this part. So let's change it the way it was changed. We replace. Now what is this? This was a dollar sign with nothing. How was this done? Someone to help me here. Thank you, I'm stuck.
What are you saying?
I'm trying to remove this dollar sign from this nini. So I remember it was done like that.
Oh yeah, you replace with nothing.
Okay, replace with that.
Yeah.
Cannot.
What about space?
Oh, I replace it with space.
I thought you said.
All right, let me see.
Okay.
I replace all.
Huh?
Replace all.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. I was almost stuck. Okay, let's see. And then data.
Did you save first of all?
Yeah, it has solved it.
To save.
Oh.
You have to save.
Let's see. Now, this is how now you find yourself fighting with whatever you are working with. Okay, let's try to refresh. Where is the total? The total cell is blank. You see, this one also is just the same as it's like the other one, the one for Power BI. You just undo your working on these applied steps. So this one, let me try to reduce the replace. Good. Now it has worked. It's good. So close. And then you go to this. Oh, refresh. Now, there. It works like that. So after you do that, so you can come to this part, home, and then now use this comma so that you see, like let's say in 1963, you'll find that maybe these were the sales, the total sales. Maybe you want to now check per year. So for me, I would prefer to use maybe filter. I can filter by month. This month, I can use it on the filter side so that I can check maybe something like January. And now it's covering my entire thing. So I hope there is a way to like make it to be on scroll. So you can create there's another filter that you can create under, I think it's developer or where. There's this filter, so you can use this filter to run the filter. But now because of time, let's just use this. So you can decide to check on January how much was sold, and then now with this one, I can maybe decide to like now create a visual to just understand the data, like how like which year had the highest sell, because like this one here, we'll have a lot of time even to search which year had a lot of sell and which one had a less sell. So let me paint this format here, and then do the insert, and then I copy the entire column without the grand total. Never use the grand total when you are trying to use a visual to check your data, because it will not give you the right visual. So you can go and check that. And then on this visual, advantage with 2018 and above, you can do a lot of things on your Excel. So on the other ones, when you click here, it just deletes everything on your data. So you just be careful when you're using them. So sometimes it's not good to like have those back. And then you can decide to remove these other things by hiding them, so that remove a lot of noise from your data set. And then you can do other formats like removing the background. So you just right click and then format the chart area. It will give you the chart area. You can remove the fields and then maybe change the other part. So for just by looking at it, you'll be able to see like the trend, the way those cells are, like the performance in terms of cells. And now you cannot use the comparison between cells and between the, like you cannot use cells and other things like discount and so on, because of the variants that are there. And this is only in January. So if I want to look for the entire period, like January to December, you are able to like see it. And now when it comes to data, you see that this difference is like, there's a way you can do this data to be dynamic, so that in case it's a very small data, it's able to like adjust the start time, and when you are selecting the entire period, it's able to like give you when the start was, because looking at the entire data set, you are able to see that it's like there's a way it's not giving you the correct, like these time differences are like very huge in a way. So you can look at maybe January, February as you go and go. So these are some of the outliers that are usually there. And then I think when looking at this data, we know it's something that we just use to generate. So sometimes also it can help you to like find things like outliers. So this one you can just close that. And then I wanted to look at the discount per item. You see, this if you just ask me by just looking at this, imagine in 1960 something, this was the sale and then this was the discount. I don't know if I understood this data correctly, but getting a discount of 212, or I don't know even if it's per item, but I believe it aggregated all the items in that period, the discounts that were given. So looking at it, it's something that these are very big. I'd say it's something that needs to be looked at, and maybe if that is how the discount were being given, it means now the management of the pharmaceuticals needs to be maybe advised on how to share the proportionates of the discount against what they are selling, because I believe discount is usually on depending on maybe something like sell on or the profitability. So yes, there's a question. Yes.
I want to understand. I want to understand how you are moving in the data.
Moving it from Excel, or moving where do you want me?
From the original, because I'm seeing that. Okay, please can you return to your screen, because I can't see your screen anymore.
Okay.
So that
yeah.
Okay, like the way you move in this sum of discount per item. I just saw it. I don't know how you added it. Where did you add it from?
Okay, we had our original data. Here we've moved three moves, and we are trying to automate our data set we had only one data set that we were analyzing on the start, and now we've reached a point whereby we want to like automate our data so that anytime we update our data or anytime there's any change on our data set, we are able to like view it on the final summary back here. So we started by like importing the data into the Power Query, and then once we transformed the Power Query, the data in the Power Query, like here. Let me just open that Power Query. You can click on Query. So here we have two. This is connection only because we deleted that, so it will not help us that much. So this is the Power Query. So Power Query is acting as like I'll say it's like a channel whereby it transforms our data. Once we upload more data, when you upload more data, it just comes to Power Query and follows all the instructions that has been given, both in Excel, our original database, and then it goes to Power Query so that at least it can be used to transform that data. Once the data has been transformed, we click close and load. When you click close and load, it will open another sheet here. So in this sheet, we want to understand our data more because the data we believe this data is already clean. So we want to transform this data so that in a way that anybody, it can be explained to, like just maybe the management. I'll say management because management are the people who usually want something that has already been fine-tuned. So I just gave a disclaimer that I only know how to like run something called to explore the data. So I've not reached that point where I can like run, like I can create that fine-tuned maybe reports and so on. So like here, I'm using pivot table. Power pivot is something different because that one also is a way of transforming the data. After you transform, it goes to Power Pivot. I'm using pivot table to like analyze that data. So the first thing that I did, these things you can remove them from this part. Okay. So this one should never like give you.
Sorry, Walter. I think you are going far. I understood your explanation up to that point. I'm just asking how this data set, because yes, after this stage, I started seeing that you were importing data that we are working with. So I don't understand how you imported like the first one, the year. How did you import them?
Like now I've removed them. You want me again to repeat? Huh?
Okay.
Okay, let me just repeat. So once you are done, once you've brought, you bring. Let me do this. Let me just remove. Let me start like creating a pivot table again. I think that one will be fine. It will be better, right? So what you do, you just go and insert the pivot table, and then on a new sheet, click on that. It will just bring you to this point. So I just quickly like remove these grids. I just remove the grids and then do a small background. So here, this one will just come automatically to you. So it depends with what you want to do with the data. So you'll see that I created the year and month because I knew like this year and month will be very much important when it comes to my analysis on this point. So you just bring the year, you just drag it. So it depends with like, you need to understand where each and every thing needs to go, like row and values. So you can even start with the totals and bring it to the value. It will just give you the aggregated totals, so total price. Yeah, it will just give you that. And then now you can decide now to bring the years like that. So it will give you like the rows will give you the years. And when you bring the months, like you just drag them from this point to here. So I want to use month as filters, as my filters. Okay, so you just drag and drop them to where you want them to be. Have I answered your question? Hello? Yeah. Who was asking the question? Have I answered it? Okay, so that is what we can do for as much as I think Excel is concerned. I don't know even if there's any question up to that point, because up to this point now you can now start like creating those graphs to maybe now start looking at maybe those outliers, and then now trying to like looking deeper into the data and trying to understand it. And if you have maybe any question, you can maybe go to the source and then maybe try to like find out maybe where the issue was. Okay.
Waswa, I have
Yes.
a question. So the point of automation said is when I change anything anything or any value.
So when you
in the original table, it changes all the others plus maybe the pivots that I've created.
Yeah, it will affect all the all each and every part of the pipeline.
If I change the original.
Yeah. If you change this, it will just affect each and every part of the pipeline up to the pivot table. So sometimes you see, like in Power BI, we were given another data set and then we were told to load it.
Yeah.
And immediately we loaded it. It just like there were some changes that it made to the final like visuals that we had created. It's just the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question? So if there are no questions, I think we've not touched on the formulas. In case we'll have another time, we can now come to the formula. So as much as, let's say, and this is only Excel, we've not even touched on Google Sheets. So as much as, let's say, Excel is, yes.
Waswa?
Yes, Mildred.
There was someone who had asked the question, the first one, and I forgot. Alikuwa anauliza, how do I update to the latest Excel?
I know maybe you need to you can try to unload to you can either subscribe to the 360, because 360 I know you have to subscribe on a monthly, or you can try to find the updated version depending on your Windows, the Windows that you have. So you need to like find the what is it the setup for the latest version. The latest is to 2021, and then after 2021 now we are on 360. I don't know even if there's any other in the middle. So you can either subscribe to 360, whereby you, after subscribing, you just download it, and then maybe use the online version as you move. So we will just be informed in case we'll have another session. We'll just have now to come and maybe look at the formulas. I know the most common ones and the basic ones, so I don't know more about the advanced formulas and so there we will collaborate with my team and know the ones that we will look into, and then after that I think also we'll get assistance from the team if there will be any. So the final thing that I think will, because of time, the final thing that I think is also important, it's important to know maybe how to, maybe you want to showcase your Excel. nowadays people showcase maybe their Tableau because it's available and so on. So also Excel, I think there's a way you can showcase into your portfolio. Maybe you've already worked on your Excel. Let me assume we are done with this one. You've already saved it, okay? And I want maybe to now put it in my portfolio and showcase my work. Maybe after I've done all this work for myself. So the thing that you need to do, always know how to lock your Excel so that nobody else can access it and maybe manipulate it to their own advantage and so on. So there's a way you can lock it. There's a place here. On review, you can protect your sheet or workbook. So by using passwords and so on, so that nobody else, someone can just view but not do any changes to your work. And I don't know even if there's a way to input the watermark. If there is, just use that to your advantage. So it's important to also have a OneDrive. We call it OneDrive. It's for Microsoft. A free version comes with 5 GB. So the first thing, the thing that you do is to upload the file. Let's try to upload our file. Sorry, sometimes you go there, you upload that. And then for those who have let me just try to access it. I talked a lot until I've forgotten. Just a minute. Sorry, this is my this one. It's called MoviePro. It's free. You can showcase your work, your Excel work. It's also Power BI. As much as you know how to maybe work on those work and maybe you want to showcase, you can use it. So you can come to add and then maybe dashboard. So here you can update Power BI, Tableau or Excel. So we are interested with Excel. So once you are done with your work and you've uploaded it in OneDrive, mine has uploaded it to OneDrive. Which one? This one here. So you'll just come here. You click on these 3 dots and then click embed. And then once you click embed, you will generate what you need to embed and then you copy this here. Once you copy it, so you come to Notepad and then paste it there and then remove these last, those first, and then this one here you remove up to this point and then you copy the link. That is once you are comfortable that your work is now ready for maybe updating to your site, like this one here. So you paste it there. Once you paste, it will just load. Once it has loaded, you can see how your work is, and then now decide on which part you want. Like this one has maybe different parts, so you can decide to give a title and then find a good cover photo for it. Maybe you can, if it has some visual, you can take a photo of that visual and put it here. Once you put it here, you can write an overview of what you are trying to showcase. Once you do that, you can decide to put a video for YouTube and URL and so on. Just follow the process and then you'll be able to upload it to this site. Once you upload it, maybe if you have a website or a portfolio website, you can just create a link that will just direct someone to this site so that maybe they can see most of your work or maybe most of the things that you've done if maybe you've created a portfolio here. So I think that is much about Excel. I think we've eaten a lot of your work time. We thought that we could use only 2 hours. We've gone all and all. So I think for now, it's wise to stop at this point because a lot of information we've already given. So I don't know even if there's last questions. Mildred, I think we'll present the formulas later.
I have a question.
Yes, Nimo.
Now, this data, are you going to give it? You're going to give it to us
Yeah, we can share it with you.
so that we can be able to, like, for example, if you do the formulas, we can also try on them.
So we share the raw one or the final one?
No, the raw one. The raw one, so that somebody like myself, I would like to do whatever you have done. I try to do it myself also. Because
Okay,
if
that's
you
okay.
do a final one, you'll have done everything, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
And okay, somebody is saying actually both raw and processed. Maybe you can also do that. Maybe you can start with the raw one, and then when everything is finished, you can give us the processed one.
Okay, sawa. I will work on the processed one, I think, after 2 days and then share. And then I will just share the raw one immediately after this call.
Okay, thank you so much about the Novi Pro. I never knew there was actually like something like that. It's very interesting. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Yes, Mildred.
So yeah, thank you for the presentation. It's been really nice and informative. So I'm thinking maybe if we have another session next time, maybe we will brainstorm all of us, create a report from the data, like we do a proper analysis. We can see what trends, what information we can get from it, and come up with a nice report that can be presented. That way we are learning.
Yeah, I think that is perfect.
That's all that we had for today. Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Ray is asking what is the name of the site. I think where you are teaching us how to showcase what we've done, our work.
So let me share with you. Let me just extract the exact site. It's called Novi Pro. It's free. In fact, that one you can use it to showcase your Power BI. Like all the Power BI, you can put them there, and you can also because in Power BI is not open source like the way W is. So most of the time you can use Novi Pro. Novi Pro will give you. Let me just take you give you a preview about Novi Pro. So we have Novi Pro. Novi Pro will give you an email, your account email. You see, there's a free account email here. Personally, they gave me this one. I have where do I usually get mine? Here. You see, it will give you at Novi Pro. So this one, you can log into Power BI and do those parts that Power BI does not usually do, like when you are not logged in. So this is called Novi Pro. So let me just copy this and share it on the chat. Hope it will help. There.
Yes, thank you so much.
Welcome. So I think that is all from our side, from me and my team. We are a team of 3, so we will continue preparing for in case maybe you'll need another time for something more, so that maybe we can brainstorm next time. So I think I'll take it back to Nehemiah to maybe do a close-up.
Wow, thank you so much, Augustine and your team. I think it has been very, very insightful, very informative. I've learned a lot. Yeah, so for me, I don't have much to say. Maybe if, when you're going to prepare, also you can also take us through on data collection paths. Web scraping if you will manage, because I think it's also quite helpful. For example, if you don't have access to a source of data, understanding web scraping also can be quite informative. But for today, I've learned a lot, and I really, really appreciate very, very much. And then maybe perhaps to just this is not that important, but in case someone has a system that maybe is not it's not good, doesn't have maybe good RAM and the specifications. I'd encourage, if you're working in the large data set, perhaps to use the Google Sheet, because it has the the remote resources. So it won't load a lot. Like for instance, if you have many data sets and you're working on the local machine, because you realize that it will load too much, unless there's a feature that is not available in Google Sheets and is available on Microsoft Excel. So and then also it has the autosave features. So for example, you're working on such a massive number of you've done a lot of cleaning or maybe analysis, and then maybe your system crashes. So I think also the Google Sheet provides the autosave feature and many other things. So those who are struggling about the version of and the Excel, the Microsoft Excel, I think also the Google Sheet can be an alternative to that, in case you don't have access to that feature. But in case you want that version of 2021 release, is it version or the release? You can inbox me. I'll give you the software. But for today, I really appreciate very much. And I don't have much to say. We were to do the GitHub thing, but I think let's do it once we are done with the Excel. That cleaning, analyzing, adding those visuals. I think we can have another session on Excel. So I think that's all on my end. And so today we don't have Eve. Do you have her? Yeah. So if we don't have maybe any other thing, then I think we can disperse. I really appreciate very much.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Okay, good night too.